You applied your builder gel, you're ready for a fill, but you don't have an e-file. What are you going to do a fill? What's up, nail crew? It's Nicole, your fellow nail obsessed DIYer. Today we're going to go over how to do a fill with only a hand file, skipping the e-file for everything and only using my hand file tools. I will show how to do a quick prep with the e-file on my right hand, just so anybody who's curious about how to do that, they can still see it and compare it to how you do a fill with using only hand files. This is going to be great for everybody who either doesn't have an e-file or isn't comfortable using one. The very first thing that I like to do is I like to push back my cuticles to expose any of the cuticle that's on my nail plate. For me, I use peel base in between my builder gel and my dip powder. So sometimes a little bit of dip powder gets stuck on my nails. So I like to just kind of gently file that off before I go into my nails and start with the fill. When you go to start your fill, the first thing you're going to want to do is file down the top layer of your builder gel, because anytime you're doing a fill, you're going to want to rebalance your apex, especially as your nails get longer. Your apex is not going to be in the same place as it grows out. So I like to file down the top layer and file off some of the bulk just to make sure that when I do my fill, that I can rebalance the apex and make sure that it's in the correct spot. So I like to use a 100 file since it's grittier, and I'm only using it to file on the actual builder gel. I'm not using the 100 file on my natural nails. It's a little bit too gritty for my natural nails, and I wouldn't want to overfile them, because you can still overfile with a hand file. It doesn't have to just be an e-file. To me, it's harder to overfile with a hand file. It's much easier to do with an e-file, but you still can. So then I went in with my glass cuticle pusher and got off any of the excess dip that was still on my nails that I didn't want to go and file off with the hand file. The glass file is a bit gentler. It can go around your cuticles, and then at the same time, I was cleaning up my cuticles as well. So I like to push back my cuticles again with the one side of the glass cuticle pusher, and then use the pointy side to go in and get any of that excess cuticle off my nail plate and make sure that cuticles are ready to go for a new application. And it looks like in the video I'm watching here as I'm doing the voiceover, it definitely looks like I'm pressing a lot harder than I am. I don't know if it's just because it's glass or the angle that I have it at, but I promise you I am gently going around my skin doing this. And my hands are always dry when I don't have lotion and cuticle oil on. That's just how my hands are. So I don't try to in my videos pretend like my hands are like super soft and not dry and crusty while I'm doing my nails. I just let that go. I don't try to filter anything. I never filter any of my YouTube videos. I just adjust the brightness and make it sharper so you can see it even better. Once I'm done filing there, then I go through and I spray my nails with isopropyl alcohol and use a stiff nail brush to brush off any of the excess dust. This is before I even go through and do any of the prep work. And I'm going to go through and do my right nail with an e-file to show you the difference. So the difference in using an e-file is really it goes a lot faster. And with the e-file, I'm using a 240 grit sanding band. I can go around my natural nail with that as well, because the sanding bands are the safe bits to use on your natural nail. So I just very carefully file down some of the bulk of the builder gel and then go around the growth area that has just my nail on it, and then I gently file that it's just gently buffed and ready for the new builder gel fill. And when I'm using my sanding band and an e-file, it is so much faster. So to me, it was really worth it to learn how to use an e-file because I've gotten so much faster at removal and fills and things like that. But if you're somebody who's just not comfortable with it, you absolutely do not have to use an e-file when you're doing builder gel fills. Now, if you do dip or gel directly over your builder gel, then it's going to take you longer to remove your dip or gel just by using a hand file, unless you use peel base in between like I do. But if you're dipping right over your builder gel, especially if you're dipping right over your builder gel, it's going to take a while to hand file that down. It's definitely doable for some people. That's just what they feel comfortable with. But for me, I did it a couple times and I was like, yeah, this takes way too long. When I'm using the e-file for nail prep, I like to go around with this little tiny ball bit, and that's the same as using the pointy side of the glass cuticle pusher. Again, it's just a lot faster because you're using an e-file instead of hand doing the prep with the glass cuticle pusher. Then I go through again with the isopropyl alcohol and the stiff nail brush just to make sure that all the excess dust and anything that was stuck on my nails is gone before I start my application. I go in with a layer of dehydrator over 5 nails. And I do my builder gel one hand at a time. I never do 2 hands at once applying the dehydrator and the primer, because I found that the primer will dry up, and you want your primer to be sticky when your builder gel is applying to it. You don't want it to be soaking wet. You still want it to be sticky, or else it's not going to have your builder gel and gel base, whatever you're using, rubber base, it's not going to stick as well. I do 1 layer of dehydrator on all 5 nails, and then I do 2 layers of primer on all 5 nails. I go thumb to pinky for each layer, and in between the dehydrator, I do not let those dry. As soon as I get to the 5th nail, I go back to the 1st. Then it's time for your builder gel application to begin. Most people need gel base for better adhesion of their builder gel. I am somebody who does not. If I put gel base on my natural nails, it will literally peel off within a couple days. So I found out that I can do builder gel just without that, and I've been doing that for the past 3 years without using gel base under, and it works really well for me. So if you're somebody whose builder gel is peeling off a lot, try it without gel base to see if it makes any difference. But for the majority of people, they're going to need that gel base. How do you do the fill? You're going to do a fill very similar to how you did your actual application of the overlay, because what you want to do when you're e-filing that bulk down is you want to e-file or hand file. You want to hand file or e-file the bulk down and make that back area where your new growth is. You want to make it flush to your natural nail right there. Then you can just go through when you're doing the fill, and you'll do it like you're doing an overlay, which is the best part about about filing down some of the bulk. So I do my slip layer over the entire nail, which is a really thin layer of the builder gel that you do not cure. And then I go in with a bead of builder gel back towards the back of my cuticle, but not quite at the back. And then I slowly flow it down. So I repeat this on every single nail, that same process. And in between each nail, I flash cure for 5 to 10 seconds before moving to the next nail. If you don't flash cure, your builder gel is going to move all over the place. And then all that work you did is going to be for nothing to try to get your apex to look nice, to get your builder gel in the right spots, because if you don't flash cure, it's just going to keep moving because it's gel. It doesn't stop moving until you cure it. Some builder gels move slower, but you're still going to get some moving, and you're going to unnecessarily flood your cuticles when you could have just flash cured for a couple seconds, and then you can fully cure after you've done all 5 nails. And I cure my thumb separate than I do my pointer through pinky. Curing your thumb separate ensures that you lay your nail flat and you're not laying it at some weird angle with your other 4 fingers. You want to make sure that it is laid completely flat. All your nails always are, because if you don't, you can end up not curing a nail. When I cured my thumb with the rest of my nails, there was one time that I must have had it at a really weird angle. So when I went to start filing it and shaping it, it literally just came right off. So don't do that, okay? Learn from my mistakes. Once you finish that same application on all of your nails, I only needed 1 layer because I just filed down some of the builder gel. I still had some of the base, so I only needed 1 layer. I did the slip layer and then the bead and floated it down, focusing on the apex area and then floating it into the sides of my nails, which is the exact same process I do for builder gel overlays. Then I'll finish curing all my nails at 60 seconds. That's the builder gel that I'm using, goes for 60 seconds to fully cure. And then I spray it with alcohol, wipe it down with either a paper towel or a lint-free wipe. Then I can go in and do any filing and shaping. And I love the filing and shaping by hand part. Even when I can use an e-file, I don't like to. I really like using the hand file to get my filing and shaping really nice. So I go around and crisp up my shaping to make sure that it doesn't look off, that I didn't make it too bulky. And then I go in and look at the thickness. Did I put too much builder gel in any certain area? Then I just gently hand file that down. Then I'll go in with my flexible file and buff it super, super smooth. So I used to do a layer of gel base and gel top over my builder gel and then did peel base, but I've been experimenting with how to do it only buffing your builder gel super, super, super smooth. And it's been working. I definitely have to use a lot more peel base, but I kind of like it. And it's like a new challenge for me to see how it would work. If you're still struggling with builder gel nails and these video tutorials are not enough, make sure you check out in the description my Builder Gel 101, the ultimate guide to applying builder gel nails, where I give you over 50 pages of all the information I have about builder gel. Thanks for joining me today, nail crew.